This is my Kimpex snowblower. I asked a lot of people, how do you change the belts on it? Well, what you got to do is you got to go over here. There's a bearing. There's two bolts. You pull the bearing out. Then you come in the front. And you release this chain. There's a tightener here in the back. You pull up on the tightener. It's just spring loaded. Pop the chain off there. Then you go over here, and the chain with a sprocket there on the end where the bearing is, you pop that chain off. Then you go over here, I don't know if you can see it. There's two set screws, one on each side where the grease bearing is, and then you got to take out the shear pin, and that will pull the whole shaft right out. So this whole shaft on the bearing will pull right out. But then the pulley won't move to get the belts off on the bottom. Okay, see I got the belts on. But this pulley back here, I don't know if you can see my hand there. There's a tensioner back there that pushes against, it's like a piece of pipe there. It pushes against the belts so they don't drop off. But you can't move this pulley, okay? Look, it's tight. But what you have to do is go over here. There's 3 nuts. One here, one there, and one there. That loosens the gearbox. You take those 3 bolts out and you push that over a bit, and then you'll be able to get your belts back on and slip them on. It's a little tight there, but it goes on. Then you put the gearbox 3 bolts back in. You put your belts on the top pulley too there, and then you slide your shaft back in and make sure your bearing, there's a bracket here. It holds the bearing like this. There's one here and one on the inside. There's 2 bolts that hold that. You put that back in. Then you slip your chain on. Then you go to the front. And you slip your chain back on here in the front. And then what you do is you tighten this up. You make sure it's tight, this bearing. Got to get a wrench inside and ratchet on the outside. Then you got to tighten your set screws, which are there. And put your shear pin back in, and then tighten your 3 bolts down tight on the gearbox. And that's how it's done. It's taken me about an hour to figure it out. It's not that bad. What I'm going to do this summer is pull the gear, everything right apart, and pull the gearbox out, because it's hard to change the oil in the gearbox. I tried to siphon it out, but I got what I could, and then I put new oil in it till it ran out. Alright, that's how you, and it's got a 13 horsepower Honda motor, GX390. You can see this is my Kimpex snowblower.